Take a good long hard look at yourself.
I have. Everyone has. They love it.
These days, people spend a lot of time online watching cat clips and deleting their history, rather than being entertained by great content. So to ensure you're watching some quality TV, we've trawled through hundreds of programs made in the last 60-odd years so you could rate your favourites. From the silly 60s...
It's the steroids you were soaking your teeth in, Mark.
The sensational 70s...
14 inches, Don.
What is she talking about? The water. Right, yeah, 14 inches.
The entertaining 80s...
I feel more like Aunt Jenny than Uncle Bert tonight.
And beyond. Time to tuck into that TV dinner because this is Australia's top 10 terrific TV shows. Let's dust off the mothballs at number 10 with The Graham Kennedy Show. It began as IMT and had various other incarnations, but ultimately it paved the way for Aussie comedy today. And the one thing you could always count on was that it would be completely off the wall.
That's a mirror, Butch. How's it, Butch? You know... You see who that is in there? Bert Newton.
What's for breakfast, Joyce?
Oh, some nice curry, love.
Curry? Oh, Joyce, that's my favourite. Where's the pepper?
Oh, George.
There we are.
George, you won't need any pepper on
I
my
like
curry.
lots of pepper, Joyce. That's the whole point of curry, to have it hot. I like my curry like I like my women. Hot and strong.
I think you'll find that's hot enough, George.
Curry can never be too hot, Joyce. That's the point of it all.
All
Now,
right, please yourself.
here we go with the curry. Oh, good. Joy! Get the fry brigade! Good! Oh!
I told you, do you?
Oh, Joy, it was like a bushfire down in me General Smut. This water doesn't taste too good either.
I'm not surprised. It's the steroids you were soaking your teeth in, Mark. Come on, dear, sit down, sit down. Your breakfast's gone all cold. Would you like me to make it hot for you?
I'll be in that, Joyce. Here, come on, Joyce. Pucker up. Pucker up, coax me a little, Joyce. And when I'm ready, I'll make you think it's Christmas.
George, by the time you're ready, it'll be Christmas.
What are you in for?
Robbery.
And you?
Forgery.
Robbery. Forgery. And what are you in for?
Can't say.
Come on,
No, I'm too shy.
let's hear it.
Well, if I tell you what I'm in for...
Do you promise to give us a kiss?
Get your hands off there, you pig! You... Get the hell of it! Take your head off me, you pig! Pig!
Hey, what are you in for, mate?
I'm a pacifist.
Noteworthy at 9, The Don Lane Show. Don's show ran for 9 years from 1975 and was renowned for having huge international guests. But late one night, Don's biggest surprise came in a very small package.
These guys are in a state of shock. He keeps looking at me saying, I don't believe this is happening. Where am I?
Now, is this the first time you guys have ever been on this late?
I swear to you on my life, I didn't have a clue that you were coming. He told me, and I said, all right, we'll sit here. So we stalled. And then I didn't believe. I said, all right, he's going to come in. He's going to sit down. He's going to talk to me for a minute and be a pest like he normally is. He hangs around. You know what I mean? I haven't got a lot of time for you, Sam. You know, you come down, you bother me in the house, you know? It's not a thing. It's not a thing that I really want to...
Oh, I hate tall guys. Really do. Oh, you want to know why? Why do you hate tall guys?
Okay, what kind of memories are you going to take back with you now? This has got to be just
Oh,
fantastic.
first of all, a lot of memories. Good audiences, good feelings, but also reestablishing a friendship with you.
Oh, thank you, man.
Getting a chance to be involved with some of the performers, the pros that are here in this country. You know, we have a kind of a nutty thing, man, that happens at home. We get the feeling that you live in America, you work in America, and I'm proud to be an American, but you sometimes forget that there are other people in other parts of the world who are cooking theatrically,
Yes.
and you have to come over and just be exposed to it and go, wow, yeah, and know that, hey, we ain't the only game in town in America.
Yeah.
There's some other cats cooking, man, and you better take it. Hey, you really know how to work a camera? Good. The gesture between the two of you in terms of friendship and professionalism between you and your man, to me, was such a...
You just set him off. He's good for an hour. You may have seen his outstanding feat, our next guest, when we featured it on film, when we interviewed Norman 80. It's the man from the Guinness Book of Records, and he showed us the film entry of this stunt. Now, first of all, before you see it, I would like to introduce you to one of our girls. It's one of our dancers, Ann. And that's Ann over there. And she's going to measure the water for us. And this is so that you see that we keep Henry honest. There's the little stick in there. Where did it go to, Ann?
14 inches, Don.
14 inches, okay. Now, you can see that it's exact... What is she talking about? The water. Right, yeah, 14 inches. All right, Henry, whenever you're ready.
It's wonderful to be here in your wonderful country. It's a great thrill to see your East. All the Greeks and the Ayatais are coming to see me in the concerts.
What was your name again?
Demented roulette.
Demented Roulette.
Demented roulette.
Well, it was very nice meeting you. I understand that you are going to do concerts here later in the year.
Yes, I'm going up to Tasmania, and then I'm coming down on South Australia, and then I may go across to Western Australia.
New South
Just
Wales.
one more time. Ever and ever, and ever and ever.
This is crazy. You know what happened? Hey, you sound like me. I was in my bed, just lying in my bed, and I saw that thing. And I came out of my bed immediately, but now I love you, I love you. Wait a minute. It's Moonface.
We're counting down the top 10 TV shows of all time and excellent at 8. It's old Moonface himself. Tired of playing second banana to Graham Kennedy and Don Lane, in 1984, Bert was finally handed his own banana. Tonight with Bert Newton.
Marilyn, your real name is Peter Robinson. Where did the Marilyn...
That's a lie.
Is it a lie? What is your real name, then?
Norma Jean.
I like that. So that's where Marilyn came from?
I think so, yeah. Now, the kids at school used to think it was very funny to call me names. They called me Puff and Queer at first, and then it went over to Marilyn when they got a bit more intelligent.
There's been a lot of talk about yourself and Boy George. Anything you'd like to comment
Boy who?
there? Boy George.
Boy who? Never heard of him.
Come on, you have. Eh? Are you very close to Boy George?
I used to be, but I'm not anymore.
Okay. Tell Uncle Bert what happened.
Well, Uncle Bert, I don't know what happened, really. He just doesn't want to know me anymore, which is a bit of a shame, really, because he's quite a nice guy. I had a hit record, so it was kind of, you know, competition, I think.
Can you get back together again, do you think?
I wasn't his lover, by the way.
I didn't suggest that. I feel more like Aunt Jenny than Uncle Bert tonight. Before I interviewed you, I expected not what I've received tonight. I mean, you seem to be a very, very with it, together and normal person. No, I mean, you know where you're going. You know what I'm saying to you?
Yeah, Australia on Tuesday.
Right. Why do you think in Western society today marriages are not working? Why is marriage going out of fashion?
I suppose there are a lot of stresses of modern society. I think we have to accept that women working has contributed to it in a sense, in that there is a lot of pressure put on the women and the husband. There's just not enough time for all the things that marriages require.
Not as a woman, but as an editor-in-chief, do you worry about the future of newspapers? Because, I mean, television really now is moving in so quickly. The evening newspapers, for example, appear to be in a lot of trouble.
Right around the world, circulations in evening newspapers are declining, whereas those of the morning and Sundays, particularly Sundays, are doing quite well. But I think there'll always be newspapers, Bert. They mightn't be the sort of newspapers that we have today. I mean, you might find that the newspaper of the future will be something that you'll get out of a television box. You know, you might press a button and out it'll roll, just looking like
a telex.
Yes, like the Daily Telegraph. Or you might go for more specialised news. You might think, well, this morning I would like to know what's happening in Europe. So you'll go to the television and you'll press whatever the button is, and out will come the foreign news from Europe. There will always be room, I think, for an in-depth look at news, and I think newspapers, in whatever form they finally evolve, will supply that.
I had an awful morning as well, trying to make conversation with those dreadful factory workers. I mean, not only do they insist on calling me darling, but they keep making suggestions like, keep up the good work, and that I should remember that I'm rogering for England. What is rogering, do you think? I asked Prince Andrew about this rogering thing, but he didn't reply. He just stood there with this unpleasant, leering expression on his face. I've always been a bit embarrassed by him ever since Charles first introduced us and Andrew put his tongue in my ear. Yuck. Charles says he's got overdeveloped drives. I'm not sure what that means either, but apparently when he goes to visit his mother, all the corgis stand with their backs to the wall. Do you know, when I'm feeling really depressed, I sometimes wonder if marrying Charles was the best way to get to meet Duran Duran. Ho-hum. Well, must rush. Cheery bye.
Singing at 7, it's Brian Henderson's Bandstand. It was kind of like The Voice, but they lip-sync songs from Black Vinyl Circles going round on a turntable and used words like groovy and cool cat. It may have been a tad weird, but it launched the careers of some remarkable artists, including Olivia Newton-John and the Bee Gees. One of the biggest stars to appear was Liza Minnelli, who had just married the festive boy from Oz, Peter Allen.
I'd be surprised to see you with a short haircut. I didn't expect you to arrive out here. Sort of shorn.
Well, I shored myself.
Did you?
About a year and a half, about 2 years ago.
Did that long ago?
Actually, Peter shored me. Shorn the thing.
Did you get the home kit?
Yeah.
You just did it?
Yes, it got to be too much fuss. Sticking up on top of my head every time I had to dance with... they used the same holes every week to put the pins in. Now my head just got sore.
Yeah, in between... in between amateur hairdressing, you know, Peter and you refurnished your place, I think, right? We saw something in Women's Weekly recently.
Yes, oh, didn't it look swell in Women's Weekly? It'd be terrific. It'd have only looked that good, when we're in it.
Hello, James Darren. Nice to have you join us for a conversation from Hollywood. Are you ready there and waiting for us? We're all set to go at this end. Okay. Jimmy, I know you broke into show business as a nightclub singer, and you've done very well as a recording star. Recently in Guns of Navarone, and now in your latest picture, Diamond Head, you've played some non-singing roles. Now, how do you feel about doing those?
Well, I really prefer the non-singing roles to the singing roles, because it always seems kind of strange to me to break into song in the middle of a love scene. Of course, some fine singers have become very well known and fine actors, Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and Fred Astaire. And I think it shows that the public will accept singers as dramatic actors. But of course, in between films, I try to keep busy musically with my records and my personal appearances.
Jimmy, in The Guns of Navarone, you played a fiery young rebel. What sort of role do you have in Diamond Head?
Well, it's really completely different. It's a romantic role. And I play a full-blooded Hawaiian boy who falls in love with Yvette Mimeo. She comes from a very wealthy family. And when she decides to marry out of her class, there's a lot of trouble with her brother Charlton Heston.
The Bee Gees, I guess you'll realise by now, doing a lot of television work. Which twin has the trumpet? You do. That was a pretty good solo you played.
Yeah, well, thank you very much.
Would you like to let loose another couple of notes for us now?
Well,
any little ad-lib thing would do. Just something probably got in there. I think it's about time you made one of your big exits.
Oh, yes, got. Thank you. We've got a long, weary journey ahead, lads. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
After the break, it's shenanigans afloat from Australia's favourite morning show.
I can't begin to tell you how much fun I am having.
And later, it was supposed to be about football, but there was so much more to the footy show than just sport.
Yeah. Don't make that noise, though. That's not cool. That'd be making it weird.
Your eyes are glued to Australia's top 10 terrific TV shows. And there'll be no hitting the snooze button because at number 6, it's The Today Show. Running an incredible 35 years, it's best known for biting political commentary and breaking major stories. But I think it's in the countdown mostly for its tomfoolery.
It's around about 9 kilometres wide and 35, wow, kilometres long. So if you get up in the sky like this, we might have the wrong wind conditions here.
Go faster.
I don't know, I could really be... I think I'm in the chute. Literally.
Stevie, they've got really big sharks up there, bro.
Thanks very much for that, Carl. Some resident dugongs living down here. And lots of dolphins.
Houston, we have a problem.
Put the cameraman.
I can't begin to tell you how much fun I am having. This is just awesome. Seriously, kids, give this a go. Not going to freak you out at all. Yeah, fun for the whole family here. Okay, that's probably not a great shot to finish off on, but anyway, we'll be going to you somewhere else from Queensland tomorrow. How cool am I?
Okay, that's a thumbs up.
Welcome back to the show. Well, it's going to come as no surprise that today cook Julie Goodwin is here, and you've got an amazing treat for us, Julie.
I do. It's cream horns, their mum's recipe.
Can I ask something before we move on? How do you then get the steel thing out of that when it's cooked?
Can I just tell you that jam and cream are going to come squirting out the bottom of your horn?
Maybe I like that.
You see, I'm... Okay, you don't want to squirt, Carl. That's bad.
So mock cream is butter. Okay, I did get a big bowl, especially so I wouldn't get butter in my hair.
Georgie's got butter in her hair. Here you go.
Vanilla, gelatin with butter.
Yeah.
And cream of tartar, please.
Oh, no. You can organise it. You're clean.
I think it's going well.
He's done my prepared earlier.
Ease up.
Okay.
Who would have thought all of this from a cream pie?
Oh, I love it.
Their shirtless and shoeless mates, James Ross Munro and Kane Wiblin, snapped into gear, filming their heroic antics as they stopped an alleged getaway car and chased the culprits down the street. Take us back to what was happening leading up to that moment.
Well, we'd been down at Options Tavern at a Stubbies and Singlets party and
Beautiful.
got dropped off by a mate up the road and decided to walk down the survey, get some noodles and went to jump over a side on the way and slipped over and busted my plugger.
That's so Australia. What are you seeing that's happening at the servo?
It's pretty concerned about my blowout I had, and looked up and saw a white Commodore pull up, two blokes with shirts around their faces, and and sort of thought something was a bit sus, so better go and check it out.
You look like you got reasonable guns. You've been working out in the gym. You look reasonable, buddy.
Mate, I don't go to the gym. I haven't been to the gym in years. The only gym I go to is Jim Beam. That's about it.
It doesn't get any better. Righto, folks, that's our show for the year.
Far away at 5, it's Getaway. After 25 seasons, clearly we love it because we love travelling. But it also enables us to seek exotic locations, take thousands of photos, then tease our friends with constant posts on Facebook.
The Greek islands decorate the blue waters of the Aegean between Greece and Turkey. And a 4.5-hour ferry ride, or 45-minute flight from the Greek capital Athens, is one of the most romantic islands on Earth, Santorini. About 3,500 years ago, a massive volcano eruption tore the island apart, reforming it into these spectacular cliff tops surrounding an underwater caldera. So when it comes to getting each other into the mood, the views here are breathtaking. And at the end of every day, visitors from all over the island head to the village of Ia for a view of Santorini's legendary sunset. However, there is one other way to enjoy Santorini's romance that I really want to show you before this story is done. How long have you been together?
5 months.
Now, have you been out on the water yet?
No, not yet.
All right, well, I got an idea for these guys. If I had to leave you with one last tip to truly enjoy this island, it's you have to see it from the water. And the Alexandros is 64 feet of pure romantic luxury, available for hire from the Hotel Cannabis.
The moment that I saw these waters, I just knew if anyone is ever crazy enough to ask me to marry them, it's Achutaki all the way. This heavenly South Pacific bubble is in the Cook Islands, a 50-minute flight from Rarotonga, the capital. It sits on arguably the world's most beautiful lagoon. The chief who discovered this island was called Ru. I probably shouldn't mention this during a romance story, but he actually brought with him from the mainland 24 maidens and 4 wives. Clearly, this is someone who really felt the love. If the mood takes you, I encourage you all the way to give in to temptation, and why not get hitched while you're here?
Do you, Andrew, take this beautiful young woman, Elizabeth, as your wife?
I do.
Well done.
Coming up later, how Akka manages to do hard-hitting and loopy all in the same show.
Take off your glasses and apologise to us.
I'll say sorry, but I'm not taking off my glasses.
But up next, the daytime variety program that featured many of our favourite celebs long before they were superstars. Hanging by their bootstraps at 4 is The Footy Show. For 24 years, the boys talked to footballers about footy things, but comedians and celebrity guests were always in the mix. First up, it's Locker Room Chat with Pamela Anderson.
You have been on the cover of Playboy a record 12 times.
13.
What attracts you to a man? What do you look for in a man? Is there anything you'll bar, like Tony Chalmers?
Well, the thing, I'm being Canadian. I always thought I'd end up with like a hockey player, like no teeth, boils,
What about red hair? Do you bar red hair or?
I don't bar red hair, no.
Is red hair all right?
Yeah, red hair's all right. Sure. It's all right.
You're a vegan.
I'm a vegetarian, yes.
Yeah, so no meat and no dairy.
Well, no dairy.
No dairy.
There's one more thing then, dude, if you want to be in Baywatch.
Yep.
Okay? One more thing. We are going to have to shave that shit off your head.
What number 2 or number 4?
What do you mean?
Like number 4, like a bit longer on top.
Oh, I see. Hey, that's a good idea, but it's not the right idea. You're going to have to shave your head. Here we go. You want to be in Baywatch. Now, I know Justin Bieber told you to keep the tips.
I'll be there, I'll be there.
Yes, don't do that. Okay, you ready?
Oh, yeah, shit. Oh, yeah.
Don't make that noise, though. That's not cool. You're making it weird. Yeah, it's just haircut.
I haven't had short hair since I was a baby.
Do you know the Baywatch theme song?
Yeah, how does it go?
I thought you were going to sing it a little bit.
I'll be there, I'll be there. It feels all right. It feels very, like,
Let me see.
I don't know, I feel aerodynamic.
You know what?
Feel. It's a bit cold, actually.
I think you're there. So, you know what, guys?
But there's still...
You're looking great. You ready? Welcome to Baywatch.
Are you serious? I'm doing baby photos next week.
Yeah, well, you're going to look really up doing those baby photos.
What's that?
That's the tickler.
What's this? It's like Mr. T, but white. And not as muscly.
Great to be in Sydney, though. I'm hanging out in Marrickville, guys, yeah. All the hipsters in the inner west, yeah. What's going on with young blokes and beards these days? I went to a cafe in Newtown the other day. I thought it's being run by the Cali gang, honestly. What's going on with these hipster cafes? I got served a coffee in a jam jar. What's that about? Seriously, $4.50. Buy some glasses, you dickheads. Well, they go to the toilet, I'm going to have a poo in a paint tin, am I? What's going on? I know how hard it is to run a cafe, though, because I've got my 2 oldest, my 5-year-old, my 3-year-old. They run a cafe from our lounge room on a daily basis. Not easy for them. The economy's not really good. I'm the only customer. The other day, they look at me and said, Dad, you want to come to our cafe? I said, you know, I do. I'm really hungry. My 3-year-old daughter said, Dad, it's just pretend. Oh, sorry, Sadie. It looked so lifelike, you know? I really thought that closed box was a working deep fry, you know? They said, what do you want? I said, well, can I have some chips? And they looked at each other and my son said, we got sprinkles. We got sprinkles only, Dad. Only sprinkles. Do you want some sprinkles? And I said, no, not really. And they said, get out. I said, gladly. This is a shit cafe.
Thrilling at 3 is Midday with Ray Martin. Ray was the darling of daytime and was lusted after by the Blue Rinse set. But the show's main appeal was the myriad of incredible stars that Ray chewed the fat with. In 1992, 4 years after leaving Neighbours, he interviewed our Kylie before the Brits stole her forever.
Welcome.
Thank you.
18 consecutive UK hits in there, 4 number ones in Finland. The most successful Australian recording artist ever. But also, did you realise until you read this that, in fact, you've beaten Cliff Richard and the Beatles and so on with number 1 hits in Britain?
I didn't realise that. It seems to just people are talking about it at the moment. And something like that, I don't really ever look at. I'm always trying to look forward rather than look back, because if I look back, all my mistakes are highlighted and I think, oh, I shouldn't have done that or I should have done that. But to look at everything that's positive that I've done, that I've achieved, it's frightening sometimes.
When I spoke to you last time, which I think was 1988, you said at that stage, asked you were moving on. I think Locomotion had just been a huge hit, and but you were moving on. I said, has Charlene gone totally? And you said, no, she's not dead. She's only moved to Brisbane.
Well, yeah.
Is she gone now?
Brisbane, she went. God, look where she is. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know, to be honest. I never see Neighbours, so I suppose I assume she calls in, or, oh, you just missed Charlene, or something like that. I don't know, maybe they've completely forgotten about it.
What do you think the Kylie appeal is?
I really don't know. And it does interest me, or more than that, it baffles me. I can't figure it out, and I have given it some thought, but to be honest, I don't think I'd like to know, because I would probably mess it up.
In 1988, Ray interviewed a scruffy young actor called Johnny Depp, who starred in the hit TV show 21 Jump Street.
How are you?
Good, very well.
You've been out talking to high schools, have you?
I came this morning. I went to Beacon Hill this morning.
Right. But what's behind that, obviously, is part promotion for the show. The show looks at problems in high schools today. It's hard for Australians to believe that there are high schools there that have undercover cops to try and handle problems.
Yeah, there are. There are plenty. It's a lot different in Australia than in the United States. The United States is drugs and violence are rampant there. It's incredible. There was actually a high school in Texas that an undercover officer was killed.
What, discovered by the students?
Yeah, he was discovered by the drug dealers, and his nickname was 21 Jump Street.
What sort of a student were you?
Not a real good one. Not the best student around, yeah. I wasn't a good student.
Do you relate to any of this now? You're what, 23 now? So you look back at...
25.
Oh,
here's my wife.
Here you are, Mr. D. There's your cup of tea. And there's your plant. I've got a fair idea what he's going to do with this,
good.
ladies. You know what I mean. Goodness gracious me, there's your plant.
Oh, thank you.
And I just want to show you something. Have a look at... Take this jacket off, young man. Go on, get it off. Just have a look at this, will you? Take your jacket off. Look at this, ladies. Look.
Sorry.
That's the sort of thing, you know. You think you can come in... And what happened? Can't you dress yourself either? Goodness gracious, I don't know how they let you in the country. What do you mean to let riff-raff like this in, Ray? I'll look after this for you. There you go.
Okay.
Take that off. Clean yourself up. There you go. Sorry, Ray. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Sorry about that. She's a pretty tough cleaning lady.
Yeah, she's...
How long are you in Australia?
About 2 weeks.
Good.
2 weeks.
Part holiday, part promotion.
Yes, I want to move here, pretty much.
What, to live here?
Yes, I fell in love with Sydney, so I kind of like to get a place here.
Up next, the show that broke records about stories that broke YouTube.
And the fatter wog said to the skinnier wog, "Oi, bro, you slept with my cousin, eh?"
And later, what will be our #1 terrific TV show. Welcome back to the top 10 terrific TV shows, and a very deserving #2, A Current Affair. Known for both its hard-hitting journalism and sensationalist stories, ACCA has had some very memorable moments. In 2008, cocky teen Corey Worthington got the sharp end of Layla McKinnon's stick when his out-of-control street party made him an online sensation.
Are you sorry?
Yeah, I am.
You don't sound very sorry.
But I can't be exactly blamed for everything that happened because it wasn't in the house, it was out in the street and I didn't do it, like...
Why don't you take your glasses off so we can see you? And then apologise to your neighbours for frightening them.
Nah, I'll leave these on. Nah, I like them.
Your parents were out of town, you put out the invitation, you started it. Why don't you make a grown-up decision now and accept responsibility, take off those glasses and apologise to everybody that you frightened, to the police who were forced to retreat and whose cars have been damaged, and to the community who've had to pay for this? Take off your glasses and apologise to us.
I'll say sorry, but I'm not taking off my glasses.
Why not?
Because they're famous.
Because your glasses are famous.
Yeah.
Why are your glasses famous?
I know, everyone likes them, so I know, I'm not taking them off.
You're pretty happy with the way you look and the attitude you've got, are you?
Yeah, my parents aren't, but I am.
OK, Corey, we've got to wrap this up, but what would you say to other kids who were thinking of partying when their parents are out of town?
Get me to do it for you.
Get you to do it for you, not don't do it.
Nah, get me to do it for you. Best party ever so far. Well, that's what everyone's been saying, so...
Well, we've got to go, but I suggest you go away and take a...
I have. Everyone has. They love it.
In 2009, this next story went viral after this cheeky chick's made-up news story went boom.
My friend Swan and I came out of the tattoo parlour and there were these two wogs fighting, and the fatter wog said to the skinnier wog, "Oi, bro, you slept with my cousin, eh?" And the other one said, "Nah, man, I didn't for shit." The other one goes, "I will call on my fully sick boys," and then they pulled out a gun and just went, boom.
It's not until you hear a story like this that you truly appreciate the power of the internet. Last week, Claire Werbeloff was just a 19-year-old waitress from Sydney's northern beaches. Today, she's super famous known right around the world.
It has been the biggest week of my life. Boom! On Sunday morning, I did the interview. Sunday afternoon, it was on the internet. Next day, it was on YouTube with 1,000 views. Boom!
What actually happened that night in the cross?
With the shooting, I'm not sure what happened. I didn't see what happened with the shooting.
You didn't see any of it?
No.
So the whole story you told to the TV camera was made up?
It was. Boom!
Somebody was shot that night.
Definitely. I can understand that completely, but he was shot in the leg. He's fine, recovering in hospital, and I'm sorry to take the attention away from the actual crime that happened.
Is there a chance you'll look back in 10 years and regret this whole thing?
I don't think so. I've had fun, and I didn't mean anything by it. It was just a bit of fun, so it'll be a good story for the grandkids.
In 2010, Ray Graham's terrifying story about a dog encounter hit the headlines. I'm not sure if it's the dogs we should be afraid of, though.
Now, yesterday morning, I came out into the front yard and the dogs were across the road. And as soon as they saw me, they came bounding over. And I just made it into the front door in time.
ACA Monday night. Ray's barking mad about a neighbourhood dog dispute. Fast forward 2 days, and now he's an internet superstar.
What do you think when you watch the clip back?
I think it's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I love it. I've seen it dozens of times now, of course, and every time I see it, I just can't stop laughing.
So are half the hits on the internet just you watching yourself back?
Yeah, probably.
At the top of the TV show Sparkling Heap is the sensational 60 Minutes. This multi-award winning show covers news, celebrity interviews and controversial topics. And one of their most fascinating stories was about 5-year-old Eve. In 1985, little was known about HIV/AIDS, and this poor little girl was alienated from society when they discovered she was infected.
Happy birthday to you.
Eve Van Grafhorst turned 3 this week. Like most things, she did it with a smile, although it's hard to imagine how she can. Born 3 months premature, Eve needed 11 blood transfusions to live. Her parents now know that at least one of those transfusions contained the AIDS virus. Eve now has AIDS.
I mean, initially we didn't know anything about it. We were frightened. We thought, well, this is the end for Eve. She's going to die tomorrow. These were our honest fears.
We don't ask for any sympathy or anything like that. We just want her to live normally as possible.
Eve was enrolled and accepted at this daycare centre in March this year. In fact, she spent most of her days here when her mother Gloria was at work, and she loved it. She was a bubbly little girl who enjoyed the company of the 40 or so other children who were also enrolled here. Now, there was no problem with that until in May this year, her parents told teachers here that their little girl had the AIDS virus inside her body. And it was at that point that the local council decided that this little 3-year-old was too hot to handle. But strangely, the bad news was 2 months coming. When it did arrive, it was on Gosford Council letterhead. The official word to Eve's parents, please keep your daughter out of school.
The only reason that we have been given is that she is a biter. To our knowledge, we've never known her to be a biter. She has bitten one child that we know of, but she's just like any other normal child, but she is definitely not a biter.
The authorities have decided that little Eve constitutes an unacceptable risk. So for the time being, she's forced to stay on the outside, looking in.
All we're asking is for Eve to return to daycare. It's part of her life. She loves it there. She loves the children. Why should anybody deny a child living every day as normally as possible?
In 2014, Liz Hayes interviewed Jordan Belfort, the real-life Wolf of Wall Street. After spending 4 years in prison for fraud and stock market manipulation, he was now free. But he suddenly felt trapped again by Liz's probing.
I think that, one of the fundamental changes I went through when I got out of jail is I was like, I am never going to engage in another transaction or do another deal or get involved in any business at all where other people are not getting at least more value than I'm asking for in return for money.
The point is I'm a little bit older and wiser now, okay?
But the self-styled redeemed Belford doesn't seem to have convinced the US authorities. While there is still money to be distributed to investors, the Justice Department believes Belford has an ongoing obligation to hand over half his gross earnings. It claims he made no payment in 2010 and paid only $21,000 in 2011, despite having received more than $940,000 for the rights to the film. Not to mention having sold, in Australia alone, a total of 195,000 copies of his books. Belford believes he's being unfairly targeted by the Department of Justice.
To me, they have very little credibility right now. I've been trying to settle this thing for years, and they've essentially stonewalled me at every step. So I've said enough about this. Let's move on.
Let me ask you this one
Let's
thing.
move on, okay? Honestly, I'm ready. I'm not going to get attacked here. You're here, so I'm done with this. Next.
I'm not attacking you.
No, but honestly,
I'm just.
you're a very nice woman, but you're starting to get to the point. It's obviously just a hatchet shop here, so I'm kind of pretty much ready to move on.
There's nothing hatchet about it.
Well, to me, there is.
Well, the last thing is that apparently you have an oral contract with your management, the Fordham Company. Is that an attempt to hide your income?
Next question.
Really quick. We've been audited.
I think you can air what you want here out of this interview. It's done.
Why
Oh my God, you got a lot of nerve, boy. I'll tell you. Honestly, really. Honestly.
Why
really,
can't I ask these
honestly,
questions?
and I was told this is a friendly, nice interview, and no one has ever treated me as disrespectful as you have.